Hi, my name is Babb with a strip stick. I'm going to show you how to put the Seam So Fast quilt strip piecing guide on your machine. It consists of two pieces. This is the base and it's got a folded edge on it, and this is the slider. Now let's go over to the machine and I'll show you how to install it. Take some painter's tape and cut a piece about 6 inches long, another one about 4 inches long, and another one about 1 inch long, and put them near your machine so that you will be able to grab them when you need them, because you're going to be holding the base on the machine and you don't want to move your hand. Then you want to draw the size seam you want on a piece of cardstock or an index card, or perhaps the package like I've done here. Then put the card underneath the pressure foot and sink the needle in the line. And now you know that the edge of the cardboard is a 1/4 inch from the needle. Take your base, slide it up under the card toward the feed dogs, but not in the feed dogs, and you can tell whether it's aligned straight. Hold the base firmly with your left hand, raise the pressure foot, and swing the cardboard out of the way. There's a dotted line on your machine. Just line it up with something on your machine to make sure it's square. As you can see, it's not in my feed dogs and it looks square. If it is in your feed dogs, then repeat this process. While holding the base, you want to get your 4-inch piece of tape and tape it to the bed of your machine. And now it's secure and you can let your hands go. Get your 6-inch piece and cross it over the 4-inch piece and just tape it down to the bed of your machine, nice and tight. Then raise your needle and take the cardboard out from under your machine, and we're going to sew a sample. We're going to check to make sure it's a 1/4 inch before we add the slider. So make sure it's snug against this edge, and just sew a little sample 3 or 4 inches long. Now I shorten my stitch length and use a shorter stitch when I'm strip quilting. Then measure it, and that is a scant 1/4, and I'm happy with that. So now I can add the slider. Hold the slider with the flap facing up. If you'll read the second sentence right on the base, it says insert the slider down into slot A on the base, weave it up through B and down through C. A, B, C. So down, up, down, and just swing it right in there. It's adjustable from 1.5 inches out to about 5 inches. Then you can take your strips. I'm going to sew on the other side this time so you can see. Lower the pressure foot. Take the 1-inch piece of tape that you cut and grab the edge of that slider and just close it to the width of the strips. Just wiggle it closed. You want it just to lay in there snugly. And then you're going to separate the fabrics and look right here, not the needle, to make sure your raw edges stay aligned. I lay my other hand here and start sewing. And that's all there is to it. When you put your new strips in, you don't have to move the slider every time. You can just flip it right in there. So once I set it up just to sew pairs, I really don't ever move it until I sew all of my pairs and press them on the stick. Then I will move it to the next width. Eventually, your strip set is going to be too wide, and you can take the slider off and continue using it just with this side, just with the base. But leave your base on and use it for all of your strips so that you'll make sure that you keep a good 1/4 inch seam and that everything's the same size.